everyone. I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. Well, you know the saying, dogs are man's best friend? Well, for one veteran in Colorado, his service dog is so much more than that. He is a lifesaver. Rhea Jha shows us how their bond turned trust into confidence.
On most courses, golfers try and avoid the marshal.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
See ya.
They always want to know where he is, how he's doing.
But not every marshal comes with a partner who doesn't miss a cue.
Because they don't want the marshal over there, but they want Tommy over there.
How's Tommy today?
See, he's having fun.
At Coyote Creek Golf Course,
We're out here every Wednesday.
everyone's looking for Tommy. But Tommy is looking at Hank.
What's your dog's name? Is he a service animal?
Tommy, yep.
Hank Ford wasn't always a social person.
Come on, buddy.
When he's not on the greens, he's usually at this table,
Yeah, see, he knows I'm nervous being on camera.
keeping his hands moving and his mind steady.
Yeah, I'm a veteran, 20 years. Alone time's not good. Idle hands are not a good thing, especially when you're battling with PTSD and depression. It's just not good. And so that's why I got Tommy. He's a licker.
Piece by piece,
A good boy.
Tommy's been building Hank's trust since September 2023, when they were paired up through a service dog company called Dogs Inc. The bond was instant.
I can just look at him and move my eyebrows, and he knows what I'm about ready to tell him.
In February, Tommy really proved just how well he knows Hank.
That morning, it was different because Tommy never barks. Well, he was barking, he was pawing at me, he was jumping on me, he was pushing me with his nose. I mean, it was, you need to get up. And he wouldn't stop, and I'm like, go outside, and he wouldn't do it. And so then I'm starting to wake up now, and I'm noticing I'm not feeling right. And I could literally feel my heart beating. So I put on a blood pressure cuff, and I was 150 over 115, and my heart rate was 171.
Hank rushed to the ER. He was in atrial fibrillation, an irregular rapid heartbeat that doctors had to shock back into rhythm.
Had he not woke me up, that I could have had a major stroke in bed or not woken up at all. Yeah, he saved my life. He definitely saved my life. Huh.
By sharing his story, he hopes to show other veterans that support is out there.
A lot of veterans, they won't get a dog because of the stigma of having a service dog. They think people look at you different when you're walking through a store. And
With Tommy, people do look at Hank differently.
come on, Tommy, in the cart. People be waving or they'll call us over. Hey!
Seeing him in a new light,
Hey.
one he can finally step into with confidence.
That was Rhea Jha reporting. A Connecticut firefighter made a daring rescue more than 40 feet down a cliff to rescue 2 dogs. He tells Tim Lateau what it was like to rappel down the steep rock.
Over the rock face, kind of wedged in between a couple trees.
2 dogs trapped on a ledge. Even though New Haven firefighter Matt Walsh never rescued a dog before, much was familiar.
I had a dog the same breed growing up.
The Maltipoo Mutts and his high-level guts.
We have bridges, high rises, anything really, you name it, we have it. So we train on all that type of stuff. So we're ready for anything.
Walsh was assigned by his lieutenant to descend 40 feet down East Rock, something he says any of his colleagues could also accomplish with the help of the crew at the top of the cliff.
If you were to go to any other of the firehouses in the city of New Haven and pick one person, they'd be able to do the same thing I did.
The first dog was easier to rescue than the second, which was skittish and moved out of reach before making its way back to the precarious ledge to be rescued after more than an hour.
Once that dog had made it there, it kind of slipped and I ended up catching it, and I just held on and made sure I didn't let go. That was the only thing I was worried about, just letting go and making sure that the dogs made it back up to the top.
It's unclear how the dogs ended up stranded on the cliff, and their owners haven't claimed them yet from the New Haven Animal Shelter.
If not, hopefully somebody gives them a good home.
A forever home after firefighter Walsh gave the dogs a safe landing back on solid ground.
Oh, look at those cute little babies. That was Tim Lateau reporting. A deputy fire chief is sharing his journey to the top. Tiffany Liu explains how a flat tire and a bottle of grape soda changed the direction of his life.
The best things in life are sweet.
One of my favorite sodas ever.
For Mark Berry, it started with a sugary bottle.
A knee-high grape soda.
He was 10 years old, December 1978.
I got my first bicycle. It was a Huffy bike.
Mark rode the concrete jungle of Dallas.
I had a misadventure.
And one day through construction.
I was coming down the hill, just going as fast as I could go, but at the end of that hill was a bunch of rocks, and I didn't stop fast enough and blew out a tire. And so I had to walk back home. And before walking back home, I came across Fire Station 18.
That's when he met Dallas firefighter Jerry Zip Crawford.
Man, he was hot, he was sweaty, and he just wanted a drink of water.
He said I could do you one better. And he introduced me to knee-high grape soda. He bought me the coldest soda I could ever drink.
Zip fixed up his bicycle, and Mark came riding back off it.
I experienced hardship.
He lived in the inner city projects. While Mark could have taken many paths in life, he chose the road to Station 18.
But I had to bring my report card and show that I had, made to be on a roll or higher.
The firefighters helped him with homework and workouts for football.
Between these two, this is how I got to the prom and the homecoming.
They eventually watched him play defensive back for UT Austin, then get drafted to the Chicago Bears. But when football ended,
I'm so glad that you came by.
His father figures were still there.
We go back 50 years.
And still are.
Hey, wouldn't missed it for the world.
The now retired firefighters surprised Mark at his promotion ceremony.
And Deputy Chief Mark Berry.
It is his 32nd year at Dallas Fire Rescue, where he spent much of his career serving his own neighborhood.
Thank you very much. Look at this.
So as they catch up in the living room of Station 18, it's only fitting.
High grade.
Wow.
Because the best things in life
That's it right there.
are sweet.
Cheers, Mark.
Yeah.
Knee-high grade.
Knee-high grade.
In Dallas, I'm Tiffany Liu.
Breakfast of champions.
Oh, that's a good one. Now, men are breaking the silence in Ohio. Carly Dion explains how a barbershop is creating a safe space for guys to open up and talk.
Inside this North Columbus barbershop, Tuesday night's focus is on the youth.
My barber probably gonna see this. He probably be like, oh, he went somewhere else.
It's an opportunity to speak openly.
Whatever your dreams or aspirations are, right? Do you feel like somebody is there to help you to get there?
An initiative bringing the young and the grown together in a place they feel comfortable.
When I'm at the barbershop, I call it an expensive nap. I mean, I get the best sleep there.
When you think of a barbershop, you think of nothing but men.
They're afraid to be vulnerable, but you can be that in the barbershop.
Elite Barbers owner Daryl Abington says when the nonprofit Community for New Direction approached him about this event, he was all in.
I always wanted to be a shop that inspired and encouraged other black men like myself.
The Barbershop Talk focuses on personal trials and challenges, showing that everyone, from their neighbor to faith leaders to the mayor's office, has a story, but more importantly, a purpose.
A lot of these kids come from the same place I come from.
Which is why they're able to relate and help them through struggles like handling their emotions, teaching them that despite the stigma,
You're supposed to be strong, you're supposed to be tough, but we're human.
They crash out nowadays, so it's difficult.
Shirako Hainsworth has worked for the Community for New Direction for the last 8 years. The organization guides and supports youth ages 13 to 23 through whatever they may be going through.
We're able to be neck and neck with them and meet them where they're at, so then that they feel comfortable to open up to us, and then we can provide the resources.
Really motivated me just to really just keep believing myself.
20-year-old Deshaun Simmons has had the support of his mentors with the organization for the last couple years.
It was more of a blessing to have him come in my life to guide me in different ways and show me new stuff. Oh, you can handle this a different way.
Showing the youth that they're not alone and their problems and struggles are a lot more common than they may realize.
Us having this conversation tonight really just gave them a platform to stand on and be an eye-opener to be able to do what they want to do in life.
That was Carly Dion reporting. A North Carolina teen is seeking solutions for families facing homelessness. At just 16 years old, he is already leading a program helping families find stability after losing their homes. Anna King shows us how his mission is making a difference.
Zion Martin is only 16, but he's already founded a community initiative Beyond the Bridge is a program helping families who suddenly find themselves without a home.
It's up to 3 nights for each family. We plan on doing 6 families right now.
Zion works with local partners to provide short-term emergency lodging and food cards, giving families a safe place to stay while they get back on their feet.
It's a pretty big problem, and I really want to help with that.
Beyond the Bridge also connects families to mental health support, job training, and counseling, helping parents and children find long-term stability.
Young people normally don't really know how bad homelessness is, right? So I really think they should learn about why homelessness is such a big problem right now and why they should help out.
And this is just the beginning, as Zion now hopes to expand his initiative.
I plan to make this a nonprofit organization in the future to help more families.
At 16 years old, proving compassion, leadership, and action can start at any age.
Way to go, young man. That was Anna King reporting. Now, a Connecticut couple is hitting the road to help immigrant families in the U.S. border detention centers. Ashley Ilya and Holly Havens spent months collecting thousands of books, blankets, and comfort supplies at coffee shops across the country. They say it is just a small gesture meant to bring a sense of safety and hope to young immigrants dealing with more than they can understand.
There's still some people out there that care in a country that feels like nobody is caring about them anymore. We wish we could do more. That's the hard part. It feels like we're not doing enough. I think that it will feel amazing when we're there and handing books to these families and children, but I know that during our journey and as we do this, we're only going to want to do and provide more.
The couple plans to personally deliver the books, blankets, and supplies collected. Well, they sold their home and they purchased a truck and RV, and for the next year, they will travel the country distributing the donations to centers and other organizations helping immigrants. We have more for you on Featured straight ahead.
I never really get to do much, but I still fight through it.
A 9-year-old with unlimited ambition. We share how his school gave him fuel to play in the fast lane. Plus, forget wax figures and portraits. We show you how a museum is letting visitors do the impossible. Talk to the dead. Huh? Yeah, we've got more on that. And from heartbreak to homecoming, how a grandma found a new family with thousands of college students. Welcome back. Do you ever wish you had the opportunity to chat with a historical figure? Well, now you can in Buffalo, just as long as their name is Teddy Roosevelt. Dave McKinley shows us how history is now high tech.
When I came over here, I thought I was going to see a grave thing in a box or something. I didn't think it would be this big.
And though they were offered something the size of this bust, as the saying goes,
go large or go home, exactly.
And though it admittedly looks perhaps a bit out of place amid the period furniture and more than century-old artifacts,
Teddy had so much gusto, and we all know him as this big character, so he has to be life-size. So that's why we have the big box.
Inside is a holographic avatar depicting renowned Roosevelt repriser Joe Wiegand of North Dakota.
We sent him to California, and he talked in front of a green screen for less than an hour, and then the rest was filled in with AI.
Which filled the program with virtually all knowledge of Roosevelt.
All of that history about Roosevelt, everything that was published, anything that related to Roosevelt up until his death in 1919, this Theodore Roosevelt can speak on.
I embarked upon this expedition in 1913-1914.
And that's why when you ask a question, he's going to give you an answer.
He's going to give you an answer.
Because it's almost like his brain is right there.
Exactly.
Add in the speech patterns and mannerisms as provided by Wiegand.
No day is complete without the vigor of engaging in hearty discourse in the pursuit of knowledge.
And you have what they call Holo-Ted.
Mr. President, why did you call your party the Bull Moose Party?
The Bull Moose Party, a splendid chapter in my life.
Theodore Roosevelt will forever be linked to this place where he took the oath of office as our 26th president following the assassination in Buffalo of President William McKinley.
What did you think of President McKinley or anyone named McKinley asking for a friend?
As for President William McKinley, I held a measured respect for him. He was a man of integrity and stability, leading our nation through times of both peace and conflict, such as the Spanish-American War. If you speak of another individual by the name of McKinley, I'm afraid my knowledge is limited to those who walked the stage of public life up to 1919.
That was Dave McKinley reporting. Now, we're used to seeing historical figures like presidents on museum walls, but a different kind of history is being displayed in Connecticut. Check this out. A museum is celebrating the century-old journey of pizza making. The exhibition is called Pronounced a Beats, and as Jim Altman explains, you can only get a taste of it in New Haven, Connecticut.
So is pizza making a craft or is it an art? Well, if you come to New Haven, they'll argue it's the latter.
It's just amazing that these documents were saved by the Pepe family.
They are just now putting the pieces in place.
This is the coolest.
And at the New Haven Museum, not far from the neoclassics, there is Neapolitan.
And this used to hang on the tables at Sally's.
Not far from post-impressionists, there is pizza.
Pronounced a beats. Pronounced a beats. That's how we say pizza in New Haven.
Apparently, char can take you far, as they set up the new exhibit, Pronounced a Beats.
They got the char, they got the grease on it. It's pretty cool.
New Haven pizza guru Colin Kaplan and co-curator Gorman Bouchard came up with the idea 5 years ago.
I'm saying we should do a pizza exhibit. We've got enough pizza history right here. This isn't what New Haven's all about. Hundreds of years in the future, when people talk about New Haven, there's going to be one word on their lips, and it's pizza.
So we've got the New Haven Museum involved with all the pizza history going back 150 years. In New Haven, Italian immigrants came here, brought this amazing food to us. We're going to digest a lot of information.
With cardboard boxes as the canvas, a palette of red sauce and white clam. The show is meant to dish a bit deeper, going beyond thin crusts and toppings, and honoring the history here.
Ultimately, we are able to tell a bigger, broader story by putting it to life on these walls, on these floors, and now here in the air. It's in the ether, man.
I mean, this is the most popular food in the United States, and it's that for a reason. And we really show that it comes from immigrants. This day and age, we should really sort of think about that.
How cool is that? And if you haven't had the opportunity to have New Haven style of beats, come on down to Connecticut. That was Jim Altman reporting. Now don't go too far. We have more for you straight ahead on Featured, the best of both worlds. We meet a 21-year-old bakery owner who is blending culture and creativity. Find out how she became a global sensation. Plus, the art of healing, how a teacher is making a difference in the recovery of young patients. Alrighty, let's talk about what's trending on social media now. A Texas bakery is gaining a huge following for its cultural fusion. Adriana de Alba spoke to the young owner who tells us how her business went from local to viral.
Ooh, let me go over there as soon as they open, be the first one there.
It's not a Black Friday deal, not a concert ticket drop.
It's like one of those, you're in the area, so you have to try.
It's a bakery, and these long lines, they're for fun.
I'm very excited.
Outside Pan Pan Bakery near Arlington, the crowd shows up early. They show up daily.
I know, it smells so good.
Even from outside, that sweet scent hits you. Freshly baked pan dulce. It's where Mexican sweet bread meets Japanese flavors. Two cultures beautifully blended, from the food to the atmosphere.
First one's in line. Welcome in, welcome in.
And every little detail in between.
Every day when I come in here, I can feel the energy.
The person behind all this fun,
thank you so much,
is 21-year-old Laurita Molinar.
Oh, yes, definitely, boo. You have a great day. I'm like, where are y'all coming from? I'm like, I didn't know there's that many people in the world.
One video.
Things in my Mexican and Japanese fusion bakery and cafe that just makes sense. Bread clock.
One viral moment.
We have a Japanese toilet with a bidet. We have an army of matcha bowls.
And her business went from local secret.
Is it usually this busy during the weekdays too? Always.
That's good.
To a worldwide sweet spot overnight.
This is sacred right here. We try to save as much matcha, very expensive.
Her mom, who also works in the bakery, remembers the next day's chaos.
I said, you need to come see this.
A line wrapped all around the building for the first time ever.
Let me start bringing a couple of these things up.
A journey that began with pop-ups when she was 15 has risen into a bustling bakery.
So many people.
Where every pan dulce recipe honors her Hispanic roots, and the matcha and shiopan cultivated by her love of Japanese culture and family trips to Japan.
I got you. How about some stoppers?
Now, crowds from everywhere are flocking to her humble bakery.
Where are you coming in from? From Houston. I just can't believe, this has gone as crazy as it was. Nutella stuffed. We have churro.
And the star, this bright green matcha concha.
People are making hats with the matcha concha on it. We're making sweaters with it on there. It's very symbolic of what we do here.
You started a pan movement.
I did. No, don't say that. That's funny.
It is full-on pandemonium. Customers, not just fans of the bakery, they want a glimpse of the girl from TikTok too.
Is this crazy? Like, people want to meet you?
It's crazy to me. It's very insane. A lot of people even. I went to a concert the other day and I was like walking in there like, bam, bam. I'm like, it's so funny. I'm like, oh, and it's just the reminders of it constantly is just so great.
And mom remembers when it all started.
Like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go to college. Like, I want to open up my bakery. And we're like, at coffee shop. And I'm like, girl, you've never been a barista. How are you going to open up a coffee shop?
Skeptical, sure. But today, she's proud.
I still can't believe it.
And customers, they're rooting for her too.
She's a little entrepreneur.
From the first person in line,
cherishing every single moment, soaking it in,
to the last piece of pan sold. She's baked her dream into reality.
Finding inspiration where you are right now is what helps you get there without even realizing it.
And she's just getting started.
There you go, beautiful. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
In Dalworthington Gardens, I'm Adriana De Alba.
Coming up next on Featured, a fierce determination amid a cancer diagnosis. We speak to a woman who is now finding the light in her darkest hour. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories across the country. A college store employee in Virginia is teaching a lesson that you can't get from a textbook. It's about the powerful impact of unconditional love. Sean Martinelli shows us how it all unfolds every day on a campus.
Hey, how are you? Good. I am great.
At Randolph-Macon College, it doesn't matter how far you are from home.
You all come in.
You're never far from family.
My name is Barclay, like a bar of clay.
That's Barclay Dupriest.
I love football. I've been here since 1985. Hot dog. I'm excited.
Campus store manager.
Those kids said, you gotta get this.
Campus grandmother.
Now, guess who this is? Mel's sister. Get your cousin Eddie to come for family weekend. Look at him going by. I don't know him. I just call them my grandchildren.
A rolling chair in her store could be a lazy boy in her living room.
You certainly do look dapper today, Mr. President.
You see Miss Barclay and you just like, she'll lift your spirits.
Are y'all getting Sabrina? Look at her colors.
She's a piece of home, even though she's never been to your home.
Members of our show choir. Would y'all care to do a little number for us today?
Sure.
I would imagine she knows every student on this campus, and they know that she knows them. That matters.
What do you mean, hope so? Didn't you study?
I mean, of course I studied.
She cares for them like they once cared for her.
Well, the hardest time I had was in the year 1992. Where's Tad? There.
Barclay's son Tad was a student and star football player.
He loved Randolph-Macon. It was July the 20th after his freshman year that my boss came in, and I remember, and he brought a state trooper with him, and my son had been killed in a work-related crash in Richmond.
That afternoon, Barclay lost her son, but gained a family.
There are thank you notes that I still haven't written from back then.
3,500 people, many of them students, showed up at the funeral home. That's when Barclay vowed to keep showing up here.
How many people have families coming to family weekend? Yay! And where they're coming here to do what? Buy stuff. You got it! Yeah. Without them, I thought I'm not going to make it a year without my son. And what's it been, 33?
33 years later, and her mark is everywhere from the coffee shop.
She's the only one who orders a decaf, so we keep it especially for her.
To the custom Christmas ornaments.
And this is the last one we bought now. We're going to have a new one this year.
But most importantly is how she shows up in people's lives.
Darling, you better come.
She showed up with mercy for this student who once took Barclay's beloved store sign.
I had to do a little community service for that, and I insisted that he do it for me. And he did.
She showed up with compassion for this basketball player who felt lost.
She just listened, she was there, and she was like a shoulder to lean on and somebody to talk to.
And she showed up for this now Randolph-Macon graduate.
I love you, and I thank you for being one of my children forever. Oh my God.
30 years ago, Lisa Ann Moore had a friend battling cancer.
It was the day before classes started. I found out that night he had passed away. But she kept me busy and she kept me smiling. And it was tough, but she helped me get through it.
As for what that moment meant.
Sorry. It meant I wasn't alone.
That is the gift of Grandma.
This is where, like, the doors to my heart just come open. Every day, no matter how tired I am from the night before, I can come in that door and my world comes alive.
Her world.
Jeremiah, I'm proud of you.
And theirs.
Okay, behave yourself. Tell your brother hello and your mom and dad.
In Ashland, Virginia.
Bye-bye.
Sean Martinelli.
Love you too.
Ready now to a hospital in Missouri where kids are facing some of the biggest medical challenges. Mike Bush takes us to a hospital where a teacher is helping young patients discover there are no limits to what they can create or overcome.
At Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital, healing is its own kind of art. In every child's recovery, a masterpiece.
All right, what's your last color, Madison?
And one of the people guiding those masterpieces and helping kids bridge the gap between medicine and hope
Just go like this real gently.
is Julie Vilhard.
I came in to volunteer once and I got a tour of the place and I literally said while I was here, if you ever need someone more, I would love to be a part of this. Okay, here's your shapes. Can you stick them on?
Julie became Rankin Jordan's art teacher,
Now you can stick it because there's a lot of glue on it.
bringing her passion as an artist to children facing some of the most challenging medical journeys of their young lives.
Yeah, just roll over the whole thing. Just roll on there.
For them, Julie's art room isn't just about creativity. It's about finding moments of joy and normalcy when everything else feels overwhelming.
Oh yeah, that is super fun. I see your heart down at the bottom. I want them to be able to relieve some stress, have a place where they can make choices, a place where they have some control.
And Julie has found remarkable ways to give kids that control, no matter what their physical limitations might be.
There was a little girl who came in, her arms were not useful to her, so she said, put that paintbrush in my mouth.
Where a lot of people might see limitations, Julie sees possibilities.
Does he have a name already?
Working together for hours at a time, Julie says the little girl found something she hadn't had in a long time, a sense of purpose that helped her forget, even briefly, about everything else.
Julie is such a jewel in that she instinctively can take exactly where that kid is at and the recommendations of the team and create these amazing art experiences that just blow your mind.
Let's make it a little thicker.
For families like Amanda Roby and her 10-year-old son Vincent, who is on the autism spectrum,
So you should keep going and make it a little bit bigger.
Julie's program has become a lifeline that extends far beyond the art room.
It gives him a chance to express himself when words don't match up. He gets so excited when he gets to make art, make something pretty, and it makes me joyous just watching my kids smile.
It helps him heal. At the end of the day, we are all about not just physical healing for our kids, but really emotional healing, psychological healing. And art is just that wonderful universal thing that just helps kids grow.
Oh, I love it.
We have to put a very small bird in there.
At Rankin Jordan, where children face their greatest challenges,
Perfect. I love it.
Julie Vilhard helps prove that limits don't define these kids, their spirit does.
Maybe they can't do life the way we've constructed what life looks like, but art doesn't have to have those in the box, those lines.
I go home every day thrilled if I made someone's day just a little better. Just say art makes you dance, Kai, just say it.
She came here to teach art, but what she's really teaching is the art of healing.
Thanks for coming to art today, friend. Good to see you.
With brushes, with color, and with heart.
Well done. I like it.
That was Mike Bush reporting. A Connecticut woman's world changed with a cancer diagnosis. And as Glenn Kittle reports, for her, the journey is less about the fear of dying and more about the fight to live.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Claudia Ainsworth has been living her life for the past 10 years under that famous phrase, and in 2015, she was diagnosed and underwent treatment, which put her into remission for a number of years. However, in 2021, her mantle cell lymphoma came back. When I asked her how her current treatment was going, she told me that she's on a daily oral chemo pill, and if that doesn't put her MCL into remission, she will have to find a new treatment and try again.
I have always had a very good intuition, and I had sensed that something wasn't right, so I was already mentally and emotionally prepared that it would be back.
Claudia Ainsworth is currently battling mantle cell lymphoma.
Trying to monitor what else is becoming available as research continues to see if there's other things that I can do once this chemo doesn't work anymore.
Her battle with the rare form of blood cancer started a decade ago. After an aggressive chemo treatment and a stem cell transplant, Ainsworth went into remission for 6 years. But in 2021, MCL reared its ugly head once again.
I took it in stride. I knew sooner or later it would probably come back.
Since her cancer came back, Claudia takes a daily oral chemo treatment. As she continues to stand up to MCL, she researches new treatments and stays strong and tries to kick cancer back into remission again.
I just continue working very hard on my health so that I'm strong and healthy. So when it does come back, I have a better baseline to fight whatever treatment comes in the future.
She's not fighting alone. Her friends, family, and the community involved with Blood Cancer United continue to spur her on as she shares a message for folks going through a similar journey to her.
And I feel like our positivity has helped us get through it without major obstacles and just enjoy life. I mean, that's the bottom line. Just enjoy life. Don't let it get you down, and take every day and take it as a gift.
Claudia, we are rooting for you on your fight to remission. And that was Glenn Kittle reporting, and he is joining us right now in the studio to share more about Claudia's cancer journey. Thank you for joining us here on Featured.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Such an impactful story. Now, Claudia, in the story, she said it was important for her to stay positive to help her through this life-changing diagnosis. But you know, that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Did she share anything about how she was able to stay in that state of mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we were talking, she said she leans a lot on family. And I think that was a really inspiring thing when she was telling me that she visits her family a lot overseas and talks to her family a lot about these kind of things and really just pours her emotions into everyone else, as well as keeping herself occupied by trying to find new treatments and researching the topic. That's really how she was trying to stay positive and continues to stay positive through treatment.
Yeah, now I know you were under time constraints for the on-air version of this story. Were there any components that you weren't able to share on TV that you still feel like you want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, matter of fact, our new anchor, Brendan, he came with me on the shoot, and as soon as we stopped rolling, he started asking her some questions. And I think one of the questions that was really good that he asked was talking more specifically about her treatment and just how painful it was for her to go through, and also just her reaction to when she was diagnosed once again with her MCL. that was just one of those things where, like I really wish the cameras were rolling, because there was a lot of raw emotion there, and it gives you a little bit more of an insight into what she was going through and her mentality through treatment. And she's really just a strong-willed person. That's what I learned through this entire interview, is that she's resilient, she continues to fight, and I think she's got a great group around her that helps her fight it as well.
Yeah, that's good. Now, why do you think it's important that stories like hers are shared?
Oh, I mean, I think it's super important, especially for people that are diagnosed with any form of blood cancer. That form of community and that sense of that there's somebody out there going through the same thing that they're going through and that they're actively fighting. As a matter of fact, through this whole series of stories that I've been doing, it's a lot of people that have stayed positive, that continue to stay positive, and also use their story to help others. So I think it's super important, even for people that aren't going through blood cancer, that have any sort of trouble or trials, tribulations in their life. This story can probably bring a bright spot to anybody's day and give somebody just a little bit of boost if they ever need it.
Yeah, and I bet like if people were to see Claudia on the street, they would have no idea about what she went through. So if anything, it's just another reminder to be kind. Be kind to people.
Oh, absolutely. Always be kind to people. You never know what anybody can be going through, especially with any sort of cancer diagnosis. A lot of the pain might be hidden within. You might not really be able to see that pain, unlike somebody who may have superficial wounds to their body. It's a lot of internal work. And it's really important when you see people on the street. Just be kind to them. Always have a positive outlook. And I think everybody in the series of stories I did, especially Claudia, have a reason to be positive and continue to be positive. Just a nice thing to hear.
Alrighty, thank you so much for joining us here on Featured. Now it is time for a quick break, but let's take a look at what's coming up next. Still to come, a festival brings together dogs and their owners. Look at these cute pups. We join the celebration to see what keeps the crowds growing year after year. Welcome back, everyone. Now, you don't have to wait until Halloween to enjoy the spooky season. There is a one-of-a-kind bakery that is making creepy confections all year round. And as Crystal Long explains, there's also a mini movie museum. Let's check it out.
It's all so good it's scary. Where does your passion for sweets and scaries come from?
It's just the joy of it being about fun and excitement and a little bit of spooky. And then if you can find a way to marry that with a cupcake, one of the best sellers absolutely is this guy right here. That is the Cookies and Scream cupcake.
You've got to tell us about your experience on Food Network.
I'm on 5 episodes out of 8 on season 8, Halloween Baking Challenge. And it was fast and it was glorious and it was terrifying.
Are your recipes inspired by famous horror and sci-fi movies?
Absolutely. You can take a walk through our prop museum and see what a lot of them are based on. For instance, over there we have Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin's outfits from Beetlejuice. And so then we can feature a Beetlejuice item in the case. Right now we happen to have some Beetlejuice cookies on the floor.
You have a mini movie museum in here. Tell us what you've got.
It's been a number of years that I've been collecting. We are also a part of the HSPPA, which is the Horror and Sci-Fi Prop Preservation Association. I wanted to be able to share like my love of movies with other people. Some of the fan favorites, I've got some xenomorph heads that were actually from some of the Alien movies, Alien vs. Predator and then Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I really have always loved the Addams Family movies, so I was able to acquire a couple of pieces from Gomez, get his smoking jacket that he wears.
What's your favorite movie right now?
Trick or Treat. We were also going to be unveiling a screen-used Sam mask from the movie. We are going to be doing a pumpkin Sam cupcake.
We're going to do a little ruffle around the edge. That is a chai and cinnamon buttercream, and we're just going to pipe a nice big blob.
This is the best kind of art because I get to eat it after.
That is so good.
Hey, what's that noise? Do you guys hear something? Oh! Spooky's here! Do you notice cupcakes go missing? Somebody eating them? Hey, that's my cupcake, Spooky. Trick or treat, Sam? Do you approve of pumpkin, Sam? I thought so. Spooky and the team does, and they want to wish you a
Happy Halloween!
All year round.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That was Crystal Long reporting. Now, from spooky sweets to hundreds of pups taking over a street in Colorado, corgis and their owners wore their best costumes for a parade in the annual Tour de Corgi Festival. Amanda Gilbert tells us why this year's celebration was even more meaningful to the creator.
When it comes to pets in costumes,
Keegan, guns and corgis.
There are no bad ideas.
This is our corgi Cindy. She is Cleopatra.
This is Cleo. When asked to dress up corgis for a prize-winning contest,
She's Taylor Swift.
And a parade,
Travis Kelce, of course.
We are a part of the rock band.
People sure did deliver.
I am Colonel Sanders, and this is my bucket of chicken, Mika.
This is our third year. We've done this 3 times. The Butts, the Peach, the Momo. It's the best.
Co-chair Melanie Bartles made sure the 11th year of the festival rocked.
The theme this year is Rock On, bikes, beer, bands, and now we're known for butts.
There's another reason to rock on this year.
We're honoring Elway. He's our dog father, the reason why we have this event.
11 years ago, Elway, his 6 pups, and their owners created a Facebook event to meet up at a local park.
It was a public, not private Facebook event.
We just didn't expect it to go crazy.
Elway's owner, Tracy Stewart, didn't know how many people would love the idea.
We found ourselves needing to think about permits.
It can get shared and shared and shared, so it got shared 100 times over. Literally hundreds of people coming to our birthday party / picnic.
This is Tracy's first festival without her best friend.
Mr. Elway, shaped like a log, you are the smartest of all the dogs. Because he really was sharp.
Passed away earlier this year. And after a long battle with cancer, and he fought that till the end.
Melanie made sure Elway's family still showed up.
So this is Yogi. This is one of Elway's sons. So Elway will always rock on in our hearts.
The best part about this family's great idea, it sparked something bigger.
Perfect. Welcome back. For many students, recess is the best time of day, but not for a 9-year-old in California. He was stuck watching from the sidelines. And Jeff Zevely shows us how his school stepped up so he wouldn't miss out on the fun.
Inside this 4th grade class sits 9-year-old Eddie Garcia.
I'm a teacher for a reason.
Maria Alota Smith is Eddie's teacher. She noticed in the classroom, Eddie's always smiling, but out on the playground,
he couldn't do much because he was in his chair.
Doctors diagnosed Eddie with Duchenne muscular dystrophy 4 years ago.
I never really get to do much, but I still fight through it.
We needed to do something about that.
Chris Smith is married to Eddie's teacher. He thought, what if they could create a Formula One racetrack on the playground?
Thank goodness for Amazon, because by Monday we had a bucket of chalk, we had cones, we had stuff to make his checkered flag.
Eddie's racetrack was a huge hit, but there was one major problem.
2 days later it rained and the track was gone. 2 days later.
Chris asked the school district if they could paint a permanent track.
Yeah!
And that's just what they did.
I think that it's really cool that I get to hang out with my friends and I get to race them.
Now when Eddie heads out for recess, his track is oftentimes the most popular place on the playground.
1, 2, 3!
The smile on his face, followed by hairpin turns. Not to mention his pit crew rooting him on. Let's hear it for kindness and a checkered flag that every student deserves, waiting for them at the finish line. In the Zevely zone, Jeff Zevely.
Oh, I love that one. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of Featured. Until next time, make it a great one.